And in today's conversation, we are going to be talking about how to flip properties and lose money. Yeah. Oof. Some of you are already saying, TJ, I've lost some money before on flipping. And some of you are like, no, it works. I have done one or two. That's amazing. But this part of the show is not about us measuring each other, whether we have made money or not. It is about the show helping each other so that we can be able to make sure that we can build a business. And this particular show that we're doing is called the Ask TJ Show. And in the Ask TJ Show, you get to ask a question. And with the asking a question, we will give it a title and we will then be able to answer the questions. So we've got a brother who sent us an email, and basically they did a flip. And within this flip, they lost some money. Or should I say, maybe they've been losing some money. Or let me say, they are losing money right now. But without wasting time, we've got around about 20 to 30 minutes. And within this session, the idea is that I jump in and lead the conversation. You're most welcome in the comments to add your comments, to ask further questions, and to give some advice, because I know some of you are already doing cooler things out there. And it would be great to have this discussion. So it's an open discussion, kind of like an open mic where we're talking. You might be wondering why I'm wearing my hoodie. It is cold. It was winter in Mzanzi. Someone says to me, TJ, why don't you put on the heater? I'm like, with what electricity? So yeah, that was a joke. Anyways, let's go on. Right. So from wherever you are watching us, welcome. Let us know in the comments. I am going to quickly jump in and talk about so that we can get into the presentation. Not the presentation, but so that we can understand the context of the conversation of this brother, why he wrote to ask. So welcome. It is the show, Ask a TJ Show. All right. The question, so before I go any further, I am able to do this. If I'm not able to do this, it is people from my family that send me to do this. They say, TJ, go and do it. So they send their greetings. They say, Moloini, hello, how's it going? Nda. And all of those nice things. And those are the people why I do what I do, all the way from the Arias to the Orias to the Fifis. And my family, they sent their regards. They say, how's you guys doing? Now, going ahead, we've got a brother here, and this brother literally sent out a message to us. And his message was, TJ, my brother, can you help, please? Whenever I read a statement, an opening statement like that, I'm like, since when did we become brothers? But hey, I like being a brother to everybody. So yeah, that's okay. But whenever I hear my brother, I know you've lost some money somewhere. So anyways, side note. That's a side note. Let's go into it. In 2021, this is almost 3-4 years ago. In 2021, we spoke and I was wanting to do flipping. You mentioned you had no courses around this as you didn't like it. That is the flipping part. I now understand why, right? So let's forgive the spellings as we go along, right? So TJ, my brother, can you help, please? In 2021, we spoke and I was wanting to do flipping. You mentioned you had no courses around this as you didn't like it. I now understand why. Okay. He goes on, please, may you help. Oof, those are two may you helps before we even get to it. Okay, right. I had 400,000 cash and I took the money and bought a property, 2-bed in a township. And now, just before I was to sell it, I got someone who wanted to rent it as I was struggling to sell before finished. I took the guy and he rented the place. Wow. I want to maybe pause here for a little bit and I want to jump back into his opening statement here. around where he's asking help. And basically, this guy here is saying that he came through to me first. So it is evident that when he came through to me for the first time round, he was looking to invest in himself. However, I was not able to help him back then in 2021. And even up until now, I don't do flipping as a strategy. But if it happens to come through, I'll do it. Okay. It's not my main strategy, one of my main strategies. And you might be wondering why. It is because of the effort and the reward that I'm dedicated to it. Our properties, I always say that our properties are very different from what we see on the TV. So, some countries, you can literally flip a house, buy it today, renovate for a weekend, and it's out on the market and you can sell it quickly. Our market is very different. Our market, we've got bricks and mortar that needs to be altered. There's regulations that you need to adhere to. So for me, the effort in doing a flip to me is not rewarding as compared to buying the properties and then I let them out. But I do like flipping in a different way. I always think of, why should I go out and flip a property where I can still own it and maybe extract the money out, right? So for some of you, you might know or understand the strategy refinancing. So why should I sell it when I can refinance, still own the asset, and get my cash back? So it's a double whammy in my mind. But anyways, this brother here, he came through to us because he recognized that he wanted to invest himself. So long before he went into flipping, he had an idea. Let me invest in myself first because I don't know. But I wasn't able to help him. And hopefully, somewhere along the lines, he was wanting to make property work for him as a business. He was wanting to make property for him as a business. But here at the tribe, at the TJ tribe, we're always advocating that when you buy property, ensure that whatever asset you're buying, it is making money from day number one. That's our thing right here. The reason why we advocate for that is that once you're making money from your properties, it's going to give you options of what you can do with your deal. But this guy here, it looks like he's in a little bit of a problem. So my brother, can you help me? And you mentioned that I didn't have courses at the time to help him, so obviously I couldn't help him. But he went on to have an aha moment on why I do not do flipping. So he had 400,000 and he took it, he bought a 2-bed in a township, somewhere he didn't mention where. And now because he is failing to sell the property, right? I want to sell it and I got someone who wanted to rent as I was struggling to sell it. So number one, I think that the property maybe could have not been priced correctly. If your flip is not selling as fast as you want it, maybe it's not priced correctly. You always want to price it below the market value, or should I say below what the market is dictating. That was a tip, by the way. And with that, you can be able to sell faster. Or if your property has been done like really zhuzhed up, then you want to sell it at the market, but make sure that whatever the competition that you've got in your neighborhood is not killing your property in terms of looks, right? Or in terms of offerings as well, the value adds that it's got. And I always say to people, if you are adamant on doing flips, maybe go and check out the other properties that are in the area. What do they have? So if you're in an area, it's a 2-bed and everyone else got a 2-bed and a 1-bath, maybe throw in another bath if you can, right? Maybe throw in some value aids or maybe free Wi-Fi for the next 18 months. Maybe throw in some other things that will be a differentiator between your property and others so that it can sell. But that's not his problem here. The problem now lies, he goes on to say, we try to sell the property We tried to sell the property, but as you know, COVID, etc., we didn't sell. The rain came. So he's talking of the summer season of last year, I think it was. The rain came. There was further leakages on the property, and I was away. Whew! Right, problems. He did a renovation. Within this renovation, it was way before the rains. Then the rain came, and then he realized that there's further leaks on the property. What should he have done before actually he bought the property? In the comments, let me know what should he have done on the property to make sure that he doesn't have any leakages at all, right? In my view, he should have hired maybe a property inspector to jump in and understand how best they can help him to see all of these things. Because if you're just doing a flip and you're just going to work on your own with your own naked eyes, and it looks like this guy, he's not trained at all. Because remember, he came through to me in 2021 asking for help, and I didn't give him the help because I don't believe in this strategy. So for this case, potentially he was just now doing this on his own, right? So this has now come to bite him. It's biting him because now the roof has got problems. And now this is his problem because obviously he bought the property like that. And it moved, and it looks like he bought it cash with the 400 that he got. But anyways, it goes on to say, when I came back, the tenant was gone and the property was vandalized. Oof. 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 That is so painful. Oh, okay. I feel for him. All right. When I came back, the tenant was gone and the property was vandalized. So he renovated the place, bought it, renovated, put in a tenant. Tenant skipped because of the property is not being looked after. And there's leakages, probably his TV, his lounge, and everything like that, full of water. And he decided, flip this landlord, I'm going. And he left the property and it was vandalized. Can we blame this tenant? No, we cannot. He was looking after himself, right? I bought the property for 300K and I renovated for 50K. The roof might be costing you a little bit more than your 50K that you put in. I was going to sell for 400, so he was literally chasing for a 50K profit here. A little bit thin, yeah. So if anything goes wrong here, then it erodes your profit. I was going to sell for 400K to make profit. I am now, I am now unemployed, and I think I need 25K to rework the renovation and sell again. Can you help my brother? Oof. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I labeled this Ask TJ show today, how to flip properties and lose money. This guy is losing money. He's not making any money. So how can we help him? Right. The first thing that I want to say is that invest in yourself by getting some education. I don't do flipping, so I can't help you with flipping. I don't teach flipping. But if you're interested in flipping, it's not a good strategy for our market. That's what I'm saying, right? So whatever strategy that you're going to do, invest in yourself first. Learn how to do it. That's the first thing that I'm always stressing about. Get a coach, get a mentor, someone who can help you along the way. That's the first thing. The second thing is that he is in the deal now. This guy is in the deal, right? And he has no money to finish off. So how best can we help him? The first one that I would say here is that, number one, I would say if you don't have the money to renovate here, can you sell it to another fellow property investor? Solution number one, can you sell it to another fellow property investor? Explain your situation to another property investor and say, guy, this is where I am. I'm just looking for 350 in here. If you make some profits, you make some profits with this 25 grand. However, I am also now sitting on the sideline. I am now questioning that 25,000. If the property has been vandalized and the roof is leaking, is the 25,000 enough? Let's assume it is. So which basically means that this guy now is on 350 all in, right? Plus the 25,000, he is not going to make profit here if he sells at 400. Because on his 400, potentially the estate agent is going to need a little bit of some money. Let's see, maybe the estate agent, 400,000. 400,000, maybe on 6%, that's the agent's commission, right? How much would that be? So times 6%. So that's an additional 24,000 going away. So you're making 1,000 rand profit on this deal if it sells at 400. Okay, so you're just going to break even. However, I always say to people, sometimes when you do a deal, it's not all about making money. You have now, like you said here, I now understand why. You have now gotten a whole lot of education that nobody is able to teach you. But we still need to solution here the case. How can we help this guy? So selling into another property investor, that might work. Number two, sell at a loss as quickly as you can. Sell at a loss as quickly as you can. Why am I saying that? The further you bleed, the further you are going to die. And you might never be able to get up. So can you sell for 350 today and just walk away into the normal market? Sell for 350. Can you sell alone? Do you know how to sell? If you do know how to sell, sell alone as owner selling, so that you can do the savings on the 6%. Or how best can you also sell if you are wanting to do an owner sell? Maybe approach an auctioneer. So approach an auctioneer in your area and say to them, look, I've got this property here. They may charge you, maybe the last time I put my property on auction was around about 10K for a 3-bed, and it sold within a week, right? So there was an offer that came through. So that's the other way you can sell it. You can hear from my my thinking here. If I had the property here, what would I do? I would want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. The reason why I'm saying that is because so that I can get at least my capital back. If I get my capital back, then I can be able to go and do the next deal. But when I'm going to do the next deal, I'm a little bit clever than what I was before, because this deal here has educated me. So this guy is making a loss. We have identified that. Either way, he is going to make a loss. If it were me, I would start assessing to see how much of a loss do I want to make. The second thing here is around his capital. Also, he has lost opportunity, time opportunity within the money. So he has had this property. Oh no, it doesn't say when he bought it, but it says 2021. This is when he came to me. So let's assume he bought it in 2022. So if he bought it in 2022, it's now a full year, and that money is still stuck there. There could have been some other opportunities that he could have plugged it into. So he's lost those opportunities based on the time, right? How else can we help this guy? Maybe he can go and borrow a short loan from another investor and say, look, I'm wanting to borrow, but I'm worried that if he's to borrow some money from another investor on this property here, he is not going to make profit. So if that investor says, hey, I want 10%, I want 20% of my money, how best is he going to pay for that money? And he is unemployed. Dang it. Whew. There's a few problems here. In my book, Top 10 Property Strategies, all of my strategies that I speak about there is very much around how you can make money from day one and not lose money. And I wish people who are starting off could read some of these resources available to them, and how you can do that. Now, here we are assuming that this guy was wanting to do this so that he can make property business work for him, but now it's not working for him. So I'm hoping that the advice that we are giving him here is going to help. So advice number one was, I think, the overarching advice, right? If the deal was mine and I'm doing it, I'm going to sell as quickly as possible, right? Who can help me to sell as quickly as possible? That's number one. Number two, I'm not going to further borrow another 25 grand so that we can rework it and so on. I wouldn't do that. I'll just dispose of it right now. If I take a loss, if I sell it at 300, that's great. It's a loss, but I've also gained a lot of lessons, right? The other point or the other action that I'll potentially do is maybe to partner up with someone who's got some cash. Partner up with someone who's got some cash and I say, hey, help me to finish off this deal. But if you help me, I'm going to take my cash and your cash into the next deal. And when we get into the next deal, hey, I'm going to give you X amount of money upfront on that deal. Hoping now you've learned something, right? So I'm always saying you can flip, but this is a typical example of someone else who went out to flip a property and they lost money. And that's why I labeled this video, how to flip properties and lose money. This is a typical example. I've got so many people who come through to me with this kind of thinking. I think there's quite a lot of things that we spoke about here on this deal, on answering the questions. I just want to go back and see whether we have missed something. So educating yourself, that's key. And if you're new here and you're wondering, how do you educate yourself? You can jump onto my website, www.thetjtribe, and we've got a section there that is called education. We've got a section that is called education. Once you hit on that section, it's going to take you at the bottom here, and this is where you can start to learn. You can start learning with my business coaching that's called Getting Started, or you can start learning with another one that's called Get Serious, or you can connect with us if you're really thinking that you're one of those people that are in the high performance space and you want to smash it, and you can get through into the Thrive program. So all of those are available. So that's how you can learn, right? It's not about learning a course. If you learn a course, that's great, but it's more than that. It's more than that. You gotta learn how to do the business. So the learning here for me is the problem. He didn't have the right education, so that's why he got through into problems like this was. But hey, how about buying the book? From Property Mogul to from Bedhead to Property Mogul. That could have helped you as well, right? 400,000 that he's got. I could have gotten him into a better deal than this one. Some of you are familiar with some of the deals that I do. With 400,000 cash, maybe work with someone that is already doing it and learn from there. That's actually, I think that's the advice of today. The biggest advice that I would give this guy, if I had 400,000 today, what would I do? Number one, I'll go and invest in myself to learn. Number two, I will start wanting to work with someone else who's doing it. And I'll say, hey, there's my 400. Show me how to multiply this money. Show me how to get into the great deals. And that's what the TJ Tribe is all about. Yep. Okay, so we've answered that question. Let's see the other one that is got. Right. I have no problem actually where he bought the property, in a township or wherever. So if in that township it made sense for him, yeah, great. It looks like he finished the project the first time around, but on the next statement here, it talks about him renting out the place and the place being further vandalized. This is also a very common thing about newbie investors being absent. So you got your property and now you become absent. Wherever this guy went, I'm not judging him of where he went, but I'm just saying, wherever he went, he became an absent investor. And because of that, his property got vandalized, right? Always ensure that you've got security on your place to avoid this vandalization. By the way, if this information has been great to you guys, I'd really be excited if you are to subscribe, but also just hit up your notification so that when we come out live like this, you get the valuable information. But do not forget to share this information with others as well. That's why we call it the Ask TJ. And if you've got a question in the comments, you can ask a question. If it is extremely sensitive and you do have some stuff that you are wanting to not wanting to be in the public, then come through for coaching. Or maybe come through for a session and I can walk you through it, give me your scenarios, and I can help you to navigate your problems. And basically, there is a link in the comment there that says that you can follow and you can book a session with me and I can help you like we are trying to help out this guy here. All right. So what is the other thing here that we can think of, right? In conclusion, is the plain lens, right? Being an absent investor, he took a shortcut into renovating his property because he forgot the roof. And now he's unemployed. He could be using this money to feed himself. At 400,000, he might be getting into a deal, one of those deals that I had before. 260 he bought it for, and it was worth for 500,000. And he could have been getting $5,000 every month. But he decided to walk alone. So don't walk alone. And I hope, my brother, that I've been able to help you where you are at the moment with this deal. It's a hot potato. Pass it on very quickly. Get someone to sell it for you. The auctioneer, if you can. An instant agent, if you can. Fellow investors, if you can. Sell it yourself, if you can. Get it off your way, because what's happening right now, you got rates and taxes that's coming in every month. I don't know if this property is 300, maybe not. But it's also vandalized, so it's now beginning to attract unruly characters on your property. So this is the Ask TJ. We've been talking about how to flip properties and lose money. The idea is not for you to lose money. The idea is for you to make money. So my friends, as we've been as a plain lens this afternoon on this video, I just want to say to you guys this evening, what do you think of this scenario? How else can you help here? So in the comments, let us know how else you can help. The show, this is our show. It is called the Ask TJ Show. We come out on a Mondays. We used to do this on Wednesdays, so we've moved it into a Monday. So now we come out on Mondays and we do the Ask TJ Show. And if you got any questions in the comments, you can ask the questions, or you can ask them in the link that is given below, and we'll get those questions. And who knows, on the next videos, we will be talking about your question and helping you. And we are hoping that we have helped this guy today. But if anything else, do not forget to invest in yourself through educating yourself, getting a coach, getting a mentor, and getting into them deals. It is I, TJ. We will catch you on the next